again for the last portion of EXP of Big Win Wednesday. Our special guest today is Daniel Ang. Daniel, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
All right.
And,
yes, I'm
tell
Daniel
us about
Ang.
and then I'm going to hand it over to you, man.
No problem. I'm Daniel Ang. I'm here in the Dallas Fort Worth market in Texas. I'm a EXP commercial broker associate, and I have a team of 100, close to 140 people. Just onboarded 2 more today, and with the help of just our leaders helping, kind of growing and just learning from them. My focus has always been commercial real estate. I did have in the past a residential real estate company franchise as well, and just trying to collaborate and understanding the role as a broker of collaboration, understanding that the referrals is important. But I was running 2 sets of books, and by being part of this company, I was able to put everything in one platform. Even though EXP Realty and EXP Commercial are 2 separate companies on paper, but we are one, right? And today's topic is agent attraction. How do you grow your organization? How do you be that leader for your team? And then also finding those leaders, because you cannot do everything yourself, right? You're going to get burned out. So, Tom, is there do you want me to segue into everything, or?
Let's go, man. This is the last portion of Big Win Wednesday. Our special guest, our trainer today is Daniel Ang. He just introduced himself, right? He's going to share with you how to build an EXP revenue share organization. For those who are on the earlier session, EXP Explained, that was the last piece that we talked about, right? Finding 6 agents, helping those 6 find 6 each, and you earn about $100,000 in residual revenue share income. Find 10, help those 10 bring another 10 agents each. That's 110 agents in your organization, all capping, and you're earning over $300,000 per year in revenue sharing. Daniel Lang, how are you doing it, man? Pour into us and teach these agents how to build revenue share.
First and foremost, the people that you're bringing on, they need to understand the math, right? And at the same time, they have to understand the concept. Where's the money coming from? How's it working? And once they understand, they're going to get excited. So the first step about agent attraction or building your revenue share organization, you have to be excited. So we're going to go through 5 steps. I know there's some 6 steps and 7 steps, but I'm going to keep it simple to 5 steps. So be excited, right? If you're not excited, how are you able to attract other agents with that energy that if you're just kind of not excited? But be excited. If you're attracting agents, aren't you needing a list? If you're doing real estate deals, or you need to have a list. So once you have this big list, right, what do you do with it? You got to set goals, right? If you want to attract 6 agents and help them get 6, or you're trying to attract 10 agents and help them get 10 and have 110 agents, you need to set your goals. So we have being excited, have a big list, and then having your goals. So one of our leader partners, Rob Flick, came up with this wealth chart. So you can Google that. Maybe one of our team members can post the wealth chart PDF. Use that chart. You can YouTube Rob Flick wealth chart, and he'll show you how to fill that out. And that's what you're going to look on your wall. Print that out. Put it. I know Tom has it in his restroom, I believe, and on the mirror. Look at that. So when you understand your goals, you're going to achieve it. Well, second, after you have your goals, have a big list of people being excited, you have to expose people to your group, to this model. If you're not ready to explain the model yet, well, guess what? Big Win Wednesday. Every Wednesday, someone like Tom, your leader partner, is explaining this model, right? So exposure. And exposure can be different things, and you're building rapport with agents, right? So maybe you have a real estate event and you invite them to your event, right? You're building up that relationship. You're explaining the model, and they're seeing your team, they're seeing their culture, they like it, and that's how you're going to attract agents. That's what we've been doing for the past 2 years. We've been in the company for 2 years, hitting that 140 mark, and that's what we've been doing. Other people do bigger events. Bigger events means bigger results, right? If you look at Tom's schedule, so Tom has Agents Gets Free. He also has Rock the Comma. RockTheComma.com is his travel schedule. He has a whole US travel schedule and international schedule that you can plug into their events, right? And you can start plugging agents in those markets as well. So you can get plugged in. And the fifth step is very important, is FU, follow up. This is critical in your organization. If you do not follow up, we have 86,000 agents currently in EXP that are talking to agents. If you don't follow up, and if you don't make those connections first, somebody is talking to them, right? So you have to make sure you start attracting, connecting, building up that relationship, and you're not going to win them all. It's okay. You know why? Because you have a big list. If you only had 10, and if you lost 5, well, that sucks. That's 50%. If you have 100, you lost 5, that's okay. You still have 95 to go. All right. So that's why it's critical to be, follow up and make those connections. And that is really simple, right? We always we have a phrase called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, or stupid simple, whichever you want to say, right? It's a very simple process. 5 steps. Be excited. Big list. Goals equals wealth chart. Exposure and FU. Follow up. And that's what we've been doing. So from there, now we understand the 5 steps. You have to implement it. Get yourself plugged in. If you don't understand the model, you have these calls every day. And if you don't understand the math, please put it on a whiteboard. So when I explain revenue share, I write it on the whiteboard. For me, it works because people are visual. They see the slides, they see the videos. But for some reason, when I put it on the whiteboard and I just draw out the 80,000, it's capped at 16,000. And if they're building their tier 1 and they see, wow, if I just get 10 producing agents that are top producers, that covers my cost as an agent in EXP, and I have a profit. Not only that, is because I found leaders. Like if you can find a Tom Truong, so imagine if you found a Tom Truong today. That's 1,100 people for you. So if you understand that math of 1,100 people, say you average out $800 per person or 400, let's be conservative. You do the math, right? That is passive residual income. And I know that and this is willable. So you're building up something for a purpose, and it's critical that you can't look at people as like a money object, right? You're not going to be able to grow. You have to be real. You have to be intentional. You have to have your why, right? And you have to have a mission. What is your mission in your organization? What is your vision, right? My mission. So we set our goals for our mission, and let me find that statement for you guys. Give me 1 second. And it's important to have this. If you're truly trying to build an organization, to have this written and put it down on paper, and of course they can always change. So our RevShare organization is called We Partners Network. Our mission is connecting real estate entrepreneurs globally in a supporting and collaborative environment by leveraging the opportunities to create wealth, community, and legacy. Our vision for our network, not mine, our network, vision is 10,000 partners that are creating generational wealth and sharing expertise by 2030. Everyone in our organization has this new mission statement and vision. They all know it. So, because it's not me growing to 10,000, it's them growing to 10,000. And what we're doing with our network is not just real estate sales. We're creating a real estate club, syndicating deals, development, right? Raising capital, partnering up in different technology stuff, right? If you imagine if you had 10,000 people, even if you had 100 people, that is a strong group where you can share ideas, collaborate, and you're building. If you have children, you're building a network for your children in the future. If you think about that, you have like Tom, he has 1,100 people, 1,200 people. What does that do for his children? The children has a group of other people with those other thousands of people. They have kids too, right? That is creating a network for them. So if you think about that, this is a great business model for yourself, not just the revenue share, but a creation of a real estate club that you, if you want to look at it that way, right? Some people look at it differently, but that's what we're doing. So Tom, I hope I was able to share little tidbits.
I love it.
You and I haven't really talked, and I'm excited about 2023. I have a lot of great leaders. It's just amazing how 2022 and 23 is going to be totally different. So
Love it. All right, guys. So Dan just went through his 5 steps of building revenue share and agent attraction. Let's hear your questions. You guys are here for a reason. Why are you here still? Unless you really love to see Daniel's handsome face. What are your questions? Anybody?
any questions?
That was awesome. No questions. Greatly explained on my side.
Yeah, just keep it simple. The 5 steps. Scott Lewis, one of our leader partners, same thing over and over. I mean, so another thing is for yourself, really put on the whiteboard. Can you put revenue share down? Can you explain the model on a whiteboard and just practice? Right. And I do that with my team. So I'll do it randomly. And I was like, hey, share with me revenue share. Just share what tier 1 and 2. I just want you to memorize, like in this call, if you're in EXP already, memorize tier 1 and 2, the 10 get 10, and do that math. Very simple. Don't worry about commercial, just focus on the realty side. Even I'm on the commercial side, I only share the realty side math, right? Don't confuse people, right? Don't confuse yourself. Don't confuse yourself. Let's see. Someone asked, Dan, can you share how your first experience recruiting went? What convinced that person to join? So I'm trying to think who my first. Well, that gentleman, he's in Arkansas. He was a friend of mine, and I knew he was at Coldwell Banker. And so I just called him like, hey, I'm in this platform. I just wanted to kind of share. Well, because I already had a relationship with this person, he kind of trusted me, but he couldn't understand the math and everything I was doing on Zoom. So he says, I'll see you in 4 hours. He drove down, stayed over my house for the weekend, and he joined that following week. So that was my first experience. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. And that person also was attracting. So, being excited, I think, is the main thing. Because when you're excited and you understand what you're excited for, that is going to carry a lot of weight. And because you can ask Tom was explaining the model wrong. I was explaining revenue share wrong for the first 3-4 months. I did the math wrong, but it wasn't because of the math being wrong. They joined. Is because I was excited.
It's your enthusiasm.
Yeah. So you really have to carry that. And yes, we all have different DISC profile. I don't know if you know what DISC is. It's kind of a learning your behavioral personality. I'm more of a high I, right? You might be a C. So you might be doing things a little bit different. That's okay, right? Just learn other people's language of how they interact. If you're talking at a high D, get to the point. Don't talk so much, right? Let them talk, but get to the point. So as you're learning how to attract agents, I love about this company, we purchased a company called Success Enterprises, right? Tony Robbins' son, Jarek Robbins, is the CEO of Success. They're doing success coaching, right? And that's part of EXP, the parent company. So I've started to kind of invest in myself to not to be a coach, but got certified. So I'm just learning myself more, right? So I can talk to people, so I can understand how to connect with more people. I have a lady actually on Zoom from Lucia hopped on. I appreciate you coming on. She's learning the model. I met her at a multifamily syndicating event with one of my partners, and we're just chatting, and she reached out. So by attracting agents and just sharing, right? Because if we're not, you want to share something that's good, right? This is almost like the good news, right? You want to share this news, but you want to share it properly. You don't want to shove things down people's throat and say, oh, you need to join, you have to join. Don't do that, because that's what we call EXP puking. We don't want to EXP puke on people, right? But we want to provide value. So if you're serious about growing a organization, then create your mission. Why are you creating an organization? Not because of the money. The money will come, right? But you truly need to look in your business. What are you building, right? Because whatever you're building, you can replicate that. If you're doing like ads, like doing these like campaigns, like spending a ton of money, yes, you're going to attract people. But how is your team able to do the same thing? They're not going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars doing the same thing, right? It's not replication. So you keep it simple and you keep on going. So
All right,
never
guys.
over explain. Okay.
Thank you. So Luz Montanez just made the move over from Keller Williams. Luz, if you want to open up your mic and share, feel free. Otherwise, I'll just read your comment.
No, sure. Yeah, definitely go ahead and share. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead,
Okay,
Luz.
awesome. Yeah, so no, I'm just saying definitely keep it simple. When Tom went through it with me, he actually took a paycheck that I had got, and he did the comparison side by side and did the math for me, and it just made sense. And then when he was able to go ahead and show me all the added bonuses, like the health insurance and everything else that we went through earlier, it was just a no-brainer. I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch. But I really thought I would never join EXP, because when it was showed to me before, I was like, okay, no. This is for like teenagers. This is for somebody that's, in their 20s and ready to do this. I'm not going to do this universe stuff. I don't want to do none of this at all. It was just overwhelming for me when I first heard about it. And it wasn't explained to me right. So definitely keep it simple, keep it basic, show them exactly like the math itself and what those bonuses are, and then invite them into one of these calls, and that's it.
Thank you, Luz.
Thank you.
And she's hitting the ground running here with EXP. She and I already have a deal under agreement ready to close, and she's only been with us for like 2 weeks. So there was another chat that came in to me privately, and the chat basically says, would you please cover the details of revenue share? Okay, so it's 49 minutes past the hour. We still have plenty of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a revenue share calculator that I created to really break down the math and show you revenue share. Would you guys like to do that? Okay, if you're done for the night, hang up, go have dinner, go have a drink, go have a wine, go enjoy your family. Don't hop on Netflix, because that's going to waste your time. But if you want to learn how to build revenue share, here I go. So I have this spreadsheet. So can everyone see my Excel spreadsheet? Yes, thank you, Pat, for the thumbs up. All right. So let's say you share this program with Alexa, and Alexa is an agent, and she comes in, she joins, and she sells a $400,000 home. Are you with me? Okay. And she earns a 2.5% commission, and the gross revenue coming in is $10,000. She pays the company 20%, because this is her first transaction. She hasn't capped yet. That's $2,000. And she keeps $8,000. That's the 80% agent split. If she's a residential agent, we will deduct $25 for broker review fee and $40 for an errors and omissions fee. This is a real example that I showed earlier today, so I got to delete some names. Okay. So on the residential side, Alexa takes home $7,935. Any questions as of right now? Clear? Okay. So if Alexa sold a commercial deal, then we would deduct $350, $250 for a broker review fee and $100 for errors and omissions, and that commercial agent would earn $7,650. Are we good? All right. If you were the agent, that sponsored them, most of the videos out there are totally wrong to explain revenue share. And I don't want to put out negative video on YouTube telling the world that the overwhelming majority of agents at EXP are showing revenue share the wrong way. We have this thing called the adjusted gross commission income. It's called our buffer. All right. In a perfect world, most slides will show you 3.5% commission. And if Alexa sold that property, the company will pay you 3.5% of the $10,000, and they'll send you a check for $350. Well, it's a lie. It's a total lie, because there's this buffer thing. The company only pays out up to 50% of the revenues, and they keep 50% to pay its overhead, to cover the expenses, to train everybody, to give you your KV core, your sky slope, so on and so forth. So this month's buffer is running at about 27%, okay, 0.27, which is still good because they're only taking 27% instead of 50% away, okay? So the 3.5% gets adjusted to 2.56%, and let's say Luz brought in Alexa. Alexa is on Luz's tier 1. Luz will earn 2.56% from the company dollar of $10,000, and EXP will send Luz a check for $255.50 directly deposited to her bank account on or about the 20th of the following month. When Alexa caps, she's a residential agent, she'll cap at $3.2 million, because at 2.5% commission, that's $80,000 in revenues. She paid into the company split 20% of 16 grand. So her split is 64. And let's say it took her 8 transactions to cap. So we do $65 times 8 transactions. So she paid a total of $520 in transactions fee. So if that's all she sold for that year, she would earn $63,480. And you were the sponsoring agent. You would get paid up to $2,044 per year for sharing this program with Alexa, for inviting her to Big Win Wednesday, and she joined, she named you as a sponsor, and you would get paid that each and every year that Alexa sells about $3.2 million in sales volume. Any questions there? Okay. After she sells the next deal, she keeps 100%, so there's no more revenues to share. Now, Alexa brings in Larry. Larry goes out, and Larry is a, let's say, a commercial agent. And he's a rock star commercial agent, and he sells in the first deal a $4 million deal. Oops, not 40 million. By the way, Daniel Lang has a guy in his organization who's a commercial agent who in his first deal more than capped, right, Dan?
Yes.
All right.
It was a $57 million deal. He got 1%. You can do the math.
All right. So let's say Luz brings in Larry, and Larry's a commercial guy, and Larry sells a deal for $4 million at 2.5% commission. That's $100,000 in revenues. He pays the company 20%, and he caps. Well, on the residential side, on the one deal, we deduct $350, and his take-home pay is $79,000. Luz will get $2,555 for bringing in Larry. Are you with me? Okay, now Larry is on your tier 2. If you only brought in if you brought in 4 or less productive agents, we will still pay you this expansion share. This expansion share is 0.2%. And so we'll send you a check for $200 because Larry's on your tier 2. But if you went out and you put in a little bit of effort, you invited 3 people to this call next week when Pat Manning is showing the program, you invite 20 people. For my first week at EXP, I invited 60 people to see this program. I called 200 agents and 60 showed up. And that's why I have a revenue share organization of over, now 1,500 agents in all levels, but 1,107 tiers. So if you bring in 5 or more agents who who are productive, you will earn this extra exponential share of 2.77. They'll send you an extra $2,774 for a total of $2,974. Got it? And it goes to tier 3. Tier 3, you have to have 10 or more agents to get this exponential share. Otherwise, you get the default of just 10.1%, which is $100 instead of an extra $1,752. And this is with the buffer built in for residential agents as well as commercial agents. All right. I hope I haven't lost you so far, but I try to go really slow to show you that. So now you brought in one agent this year. And if that agent was a residential agent who capped, you would earn $2,044. If they're a commercial agent who capped, you would earn $2,555. Got it? What if you invited an agent every single week for 50 more weeks for the rest of the year, and out of those 50, you brought in 5? 1 out of 10 joins because you kept inviting them. It doesn't matter. They join, they don't join, you invite them. And 5 out of 50 join, and they all cap. You just got paid $10,000 in revenue share or $12,000 in commercial side. And then you encourage them, like Pat Manning's in my organization, Jack McParland's in my organization, right? Daniel Ang is in my organization, Megan Wong, a lot of you guys are in my organization, Luz is in my organization. You encourage them to invite next week because we're doing this anyhow. What's the difference between 22 people and 220 people on this call? And then you help those 5 bring in 5 each. Well, look at that. You now have built yourself a residual revenue share income of $68,000 a year or $5,700 a month. What if you went shot for the stars like I did and you bring in 10 and you help those 10 bring in 10 each? In a short period of time, for me off the record, I did this in 2 years, created $250,000 in revenue share. And then this is what the 3rd year looked like. And this is what this year looks like. All right. Is that clear on revenue share for everybody? Questions? Tier 2 earns more than tier 1. That is correct. Tier 2 earns up to 4%. Tier 1 earns 3.5%. Let me tell you the logic to that, right? If you invite an agent here today, and that agent names you as the sponsor, they're on your tier 1, right? And let's say Luz invited an agent here today, and that agent joined and named Luz as her sponsor. Who did the heavy lifting today? Who did the heavy lifting on this call? Me, Daniel Lang, Jack McParland. So if we did the heavy lifting, would it make sense that we get paid 4% instead of 3.5%? Because you're on my tier 2? It's genius. Glenn Sanford is a genius. Okay, don't question the other 7 tiers. All right. Yes, Colin, that is a lot of math, but it looks amazing. Absolutely. I tell you, it's changed my life, right? It's totally changed my life, and I still love what I do. All right, guys, we're at the top of the hour. We can go another half hour. It's scheduled for another half hour, but if we're done, we're done. I'm going to go break open my 2nd beer for tonight.
Give me a virtual one, Tom.
So now that we're done, I put it in this glass, but it was really a beer here.
So I guess with the audience, who has, I guess, who's attracting agents? Meaning, like, do you have 5 yet? If you have 5 or more, raise your hand. Or
Nikki does. Pat Manning does. Yeah.
Okay.
Jack McParland has more than 5. I know that for sure.
Okay. So
Calvin Wong has more than 5 on this call. I see him.
Yeah. So really, for you guys that don't have, or maybe have 1 or 2, or trying to get 1 or 2, really need to set up like the 5 steps, right? You have to be excited. You know, I think Sylvia asked about what's the difference from real and EXP. Talk to our leaders, like let's set up that call, let you understand the differences, because they don't have 7 tiers, they only have 5 tiers, right? They're not global, they don't have commercial. I mean, there's a lot of things you need to learn about the competition. Calvin was actually on another call with another copycat EXP with actually the CEO today. So Calvin's going to share exactly what this other company is doing too. So learn about the competition. It's okay, right? Just understand it. Understand what you're doing, but you have to have a big list. If you're in the city and you don't have a list of agents to talk to plug into Tom, to plug into myself, your sponsor to help you, you're not going to grow, right? You have to do those 5 steps. It's very simple, but as simple it is, a lot of people don't do it. Okay. And even that list, Tom would say it, Scott Lewis would say it, hit the hard ones first. Because if you get one of them, everything else is easy.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we're doing,
Hit the hard ones first, because they're the ones who are most inclined to make a move. I can't stress that enough, guys. If you've got a list of 100 agents, rank them. Who is the agent who you fear the most, who you respect the most, who you think might not take your phone call? Because you know what? If you don't call them, Pat Manning's going to call them. Nikki's going to call them. Daniel Eng's going to call them. I know for sure Calvin Wong's going to call them. They're not afraid.
Because they're influencers. They're on the radar. All the recruiting companies are looking at them. KW, Remax, Coldwell Banker, you name it. They're all targeting, right? So have that list ready.
Start with your chicken list first, then work down to everybody else.
That's right.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today. I hope we poured into you. I hope you saw the value. I hope you see why EXP is the fastest growing real estate brokerage, because of the collaboration, because of the support, the training, the love that we're all giving you tonight. See you next week on Big Win Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
I
Tom.
hope I was
Thanks,
able to
Daniel.
share.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Ziegler
Thank you,
and
too.
everyone.
All right. Good night.
night.